during the All-Star break to get a chance to see those guys because we don't see them very often. And this is an opportunity for us to kind of check in and see how everyone's doing.
Absolutely, and speaking of the All-Star Week, I know you were involved with that many times as a player, 7-time selection. What did it mean to you to get those honors throughout your career, and what was the experience like playing in All-Star games?
As players, you want to get off to a good start so you can hopefully make the All-Star team. I think each and every player that plays this game, their goal is to kind of get off to a good start and be rewarded by, if you're chosen by the fans, that's one, but if you're chosen by your peers or the coaches, it's no different. So, our goal usually is to go to spring training, have a good spring, get off to a good start, and hopefully make the All-Star team.
And when we go back to becoming an All-Star player, as you're coming up and enjoying the game of baseball, I know that you excelled at football as well, you excelled at track and field. What ultimately led you to decide on baseball and then pursue a career that spans so long with so much success? Talk a little bit about getting your start and ultimately being brought up in the major leagues.
Well, my goal was, I got drafted out of high school, in 5th round by the Montreal Expos. And my goal was to see if I could play baseball. I wasn't real sure because, playing high school, you play against high school players, so you don't really know. The level of competition gets a little higher beyond high school, so you don't know what that level is because you haven't really gotten there yet. But football was my favorite sport, so I figured I started 11 and 10 to go to the University of Florida to play football, but I was going to give baseball a chance. I was a 17-year-old kid, graduated from high school, went to the minor leagues. I figured I'd give myself 2 or 3 years. My second full season in the minor leagues, I got called up to the big leagues. So my football career kind of went away very fast. But I also found out that, I'm about 5'9", 5'10". I keep telling my kids I'm 5'10", I'm actually 5'8". But, about 185 pounds. So football, not to say you can't play football at that size, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to play 23 years of football at that size. So, but once I got called up to the big leagues, I knew where my fate was. And a couple years after that, I was an everyday player in the major leagues.
That's extremely impressive. A great point that you bring up of the average career in the NFL compared to Major League Baseball, and certainly with you being able to play at such a high level for multiple decades, and that's great to see. But you talk about being brought up, and I know your rookie year, when you're brought up, you steal over 70 bases, but you learn to play the outfield as a major leaguer. Talk about that experience, because it wasn't something that you did a lot in the minor leagues, having to learn on the fly how to play in the outfield.
Well, as a player, you do what you need to do to make it to the major leagues, regardless. If they wanted me to be a catcher, I was trying to learn how to catch. But I was a second baseman at the time, and all 4 years in the minor leagues, I played second base. I seem to think that I was a decent second baseman, but there was another guy much, much better than me. So Ron LaFleur was our left fielder. My rookie season, well, the year before my rookie season, he was a free agent. He went to the Chicago White Sox. So the left field job was open. Like I said, I wasn't an outfielder, but I was the next leadoff guy in line. So that winter, I went to the Dominican Republic and played a winter ball, and I didn't actually play the outfield during games, but every day they put me in the outfield. I took fly balls off the bat, fly balls from the coaches. So spring training that next season was the first time I actually played the outfield against major league players. So I had to learn on the fly. But when you're a 21-year-old kid with an opportunity to play in the major leagues, regardless, they could have told me to play first base, third base, center field, right field, I would have been there. And it was quite an experience. I remember the first fly ball I got in left field was Dave Winfield hit a line drive at me, knuckleball. I come running in, the ball rolled over my head and hit the wall, hit the fence on the fly. So I recognized it now. These guys can hit the ball hard regardless if you're in the infield or the outfield. So it took me a while, but I eventually learned.
And with 23 years in the major leagues, and I know we're focusing a lot on year number one, I want to talk about your whole career, but in that year number one, you talk about being brought up and going to the outfield, learning it on the fly, but just learning to be a major leaguer as well. What was that experience like when you consider some of your teammates on the team at the time, like Andre Dawson and Gary Carter? What was it like playing with them, and what memories do you have playing with other legends of the game?
Well, all I had to do was watch those guys prepare. They prepared like no others. Andre Dawson, Gary Carter, two of the greatest players to me that ever played the game. And I had the opportunity to be taught by them. And what I mean by being taught is not like them telling me what to do and how to do it and where to be and stuff like that, but they led by example. When I came to the ballpark, Andre Dawson was there, icing his knees, getting ready for a game. And I'm like, how do you get prepared for a game like this? And he go out and plays like nothing's wrong with him. And then when the game's over, he's back in the icebox. So I'm like, to see a guy play 100% each and every day, knowing he has bad knees, and it doesn't, you can't even tell during the game. I was amazed. I mean, here I was 100%, and this guy is making me look like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But to have two guys, two Hall of Fame players, be teammates, and they treated me like I was a part of the team from day one. Back in the day, they used to get on rookies. Rookies couldn't talk. We had to take the big boom box around all the time. They didn't make me do that. They said, you're gonna be a good player, son. Just follow our lead. And I am so thankful for those guys for seeing it that way. And I owe my career to those guys and the way I turned out as a player.
So you had to carry the boombox. Were there any other welcome to the big league moments off the field? Hey, rookie, you have to pick up this tab or anything like that?
Well, I had to wear a cheerleader's outfit in the hotel by myself. Thank God that was the last thing I had to do, because I don't know if I could get any worse.
That's great. And you have that moment, and then you transition to later on in your career. You're a part of some fantastic teams with the Yankees in the 90s. You win a couple of World Series titles. What was it like, and how did you draw on your experiences as a rookie to then being a veteran in the league, winning World Series multiple times, and being more of a leader in that locker room?
Well, once you get to that level, you just want to continue to go on. You want to stay healthy. As you get older, a lot of times playing 162 games is really, really tough, physically and mentally. And you try to be prepared each and every year. Once you get to like the 10th year of your career, then you start thinking a little different, because you're older. Things don't heal as quick as it did when you were younger. So you have to kind of pace yourself a little different than you were when you were younger. And like I said, 162 games is a long season. And when you're young, you don't think about it. But as you get older, you have to start thinking about things like that because you want to try to play as many games as you can. And sometimes, you don't feel 100%, but you feel like you can go out and still perform at a high level. So, that's one of the things that, as you get older, you have to kind of figure out. Not only for yourself, but, also for your team. And, as the years went on, I've kind of felt like, the more and more I play the game, the more and more, I'm getting older, but I feel younger because I feel like I can still do it. And as long as you can continue to do it, you want to get out there each and every day, because, nowadays guys don't play every day. I don't do it because they want to try to compete for the whole season. But, back in our day, we felt like if you could play, you out there on the field playing, things have changed, in a lot of ways. But I really enjoyed the game tremendously, and I would give everything to try to play every day, even right now, but I'm sure I can. But if I had a chance to get out there and swing the bat again, I would love to try to do it.
And you talk about with the bat in your hands and that part of your game developing, and right when you came up, a big thing that made you popular was your ability to swipe bases and being one of the elite base runners the game has ever seen, taking over 800 bases in your career in the stolen base department. What would you say and attribute your success as a base stealer to? And on top of that, for a young kid trying to learn how to be a great base stealer, what's some advice you could give them?
Well, for me, first of all, you gotta have the speed. I think a lot of people feel like you just go out there and take off and you're gonna be safe. But you have to have the speed and the know-how. At the major league level, you have scouts, you have guys watching the other team each and every game they play. We had a scout watching each and every pitcher I ever faced. So I knew as much about the pitcher before the game started to help me out before the game even started. So, and then it's technique, so I learned a lot from some guys who played before me, and they kind of taught me the way. Speed wasn't a problem. I just wanted to figure out the technique and how to do it.